I'm seeing another record year of weather and climate in the news, economic collapse and volatility, followed by reform and peace movements or treaties around the globe. And these aren't even my top 5 psychic predictions for the 2025 top news stories. So what's going to happen is we're in the universal number 9 year, and 9 is about completions and endings, but that overlaps in Chinese astrology, the year of the snake. What snake? It's about shedding old skin. It's about transmuting poison and medicine. So when you add that up, what it spells is that there's going to be a huge teardown of reality, of the facades, so that we can rebuild on a stronger foundation. There could be a completion of the old and a shedding of the old skin to create a whole new reality, en route to the golden age, basically. So, anyway, I'm going to be working a lot from my notes here. But in 2024, we had the collective purge and we had the collective quantum leap. So the energy really shifted a lot. So now, after these things happen, we purge a lot of the old, we've quantum leaped into a higher vibration as a collective. The facades have to fall because this society, the structure of the society, is built on a foundation of corruption, greed, power over others that cannot survive these new frequencies. The old foundations don't exist anymore, so they have to fall down in some way, shape, or form. I don't think anybody knows exactly how it'll happen, but we know that it's going to happen. So let's dive into these top 5 things. This is just going to really be an overview. It'll keep this video from being that long, and it's also obviously unedited and uncut. But we're going to deep dive into this, have a monthly forecast, and all these points in the full 2025 psychic forecast that we do live on December 28th. But anyway, number 1 is Project 2030. You thought I was going to say Project 2025, didn't you? Well, that's a thing also, but my feeling about that and what I understand and what I get intuitively is that that was something that was never going to happen. I mean, a few things might, but it's more like a playbook more than anything, and maybe a scare tactic also. But Project 2030, now this is, I've learned a lot of this from Greg Braden and others, so not to confuse this with the 2030, the Project 2030 around the UN or permacultures or things of that nature. This is about transhumanism or interfacing technology with biology, basically. Now, before I go on, that in itself, I don't think is a bad thing. In fact, it's already out there. If you have an artificial limb or a mechanical heart valve or something like that, you're already interfaced with technology. But we're talking about like nanotechnology that affects the brains, that affects the neurons, like direct neurotransmitter type of technology, utilizing AI and interfacing with technology. And again, I think it's a part of evolution. So in and of itself, not a bad thing. But if the technology is used to enhance the human biology, it's a good thing. But in this agenda, it's geared towards replacing the human biology. And if you really look at that, you have to assume that there's very nefarious forces behind that. Because we are here to grow, experience, have a spiritual life in a human form, in a human experience. And that gets taken away from us if we start to interface and our thoughts and our emotions and our reactions and even our bodies are programmed into us. And then for what means? To enslave us, to program us further, to further centralize us. So we have all that coming up. I don't think it's going to happen for like 3 to maybe 4 years, if that. And as humanity awakens, it might not happen at all, or to a greatly modified degree. But I think we're going to see more experiments. We're going to hear more about that. And part of that will be social credit scores. No, they have not gone away, even though we haven't heard much about that. The metaverse. And it's going to all seem really, really attractive. The way they package this and market this, be a superhuman. Don't get diseases, don't age, all of this stuff, but it's robbing you of who you really are. And take that a step further. All technology has glitches. No matter how advanced, there's always going to be a flaw. So anyway, other things around that, we're going to see AI a lot in the news, the mishandling of it, all that stuff, having to make rules. There's a lot to unpack around that, number one. And there's other facets to the Project 2030 that we'll get into at a later time. But let's move right along. Number two is the end of the world as we know it, the collapse of the society as we know it, because the new energies don't support the old ways. It has to collapse. It's the snake shedding its skin, transmuting the poison of corruption into the medicine of knowledge and awakening. And number nine, completion. So a lot comes out in the news. The media itself gets exposed. Agendas like pandemics, vaccination programs, Fauci, Gates, Epstein. I've itemized these in other videos. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to unpack. But we are going to see very quickly a lot of that coming up. And part of that's catalyzed by the U.S. president, but we're going to get into that in point number 5. So number 3 is the World War III agenda. I still maintain I don't see a WW3, but I do see the scare tactics. I understand that recently long-range missiles, U.S.-made missiles, what's that, Lockheed Martin or Raytheon, were launched deeper into Russia. Everybody knew that was a big no-no. It was done anyway at a certain time. You look at these steps, how do you understand a conspiracy theory from a conspiracy fact? You follow the money, who benefits from it, basically. And certainly the people don't benefit, the Russian, Ukrainian people don't benefit, or in the Middle East. And what we're going to see is a lot of escalation of these conflicts around the world, a lot of shocking things. So gear up for that, send a lot of peaceful vibes out there. Number 4 is the pharmaceutical agendas, the big pharmaceutical companies and everything. And we can kind of talk about that as part of the corruption or the falling of the facades also, because the pharmaceutical companies, the defense contractors, the big tech, all that stuff, even the governments, the presidents, and the way the government's structured, presidents don't run that. The corporations do, but there's an entity that runs the corporations, and you could call them the cabal, basically, and they control the media and everything. This is part of what's being exposed. This is part of the big reveal. So anyways, with the firing of the missiles, it really suggests that they want this to move forward. And again, I don't think that there's good reasons. People die, people suffer, other pockets get padded, agendas, people get scared, they become more easily programmed, all that kind of stuff. So the number 5 is political changes, and let me see, what do I have in my note? World's trending towards the right or right-winged ideals. Corrupt system really comes under fire or comes up. Yeah, and the U.S. president, if he does indeed get inaugurated, it's going to be a big part of that shakeup, basically. So again, you can love or hate him. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm not denouncing him. There's things that I don't like about it. There's things that I'm worried about also. But I do believe that higher forces are going to keep us all safe if you're concerned about that. But part of me is intrigued and dare I say even excited about what could be revealed. And again, I don't think, again, let's not look at the present. There's forces behind him, and like everything else, and they're the ones that are really in charge and power. Donald Trump may just be a figurehead to something else. Now, is this a kind of a World War II style programming mechanism, or is it really freedom fighters fighting for our freedom and our awakening by exposing this stuff? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I have theories, but I don't have enough information to say I know one way or another. So we hope for the best. But either way, we're going to be okay. And the other thing I didn't talk about much, that would be number 6, but it's not going to be in the news. I touched on it in the beginning. It's the time of mass global awakening and return to spiritual values, more sustainability, more communities getting together. As the old world crumbles, the new earth is born. Maybe the phoenix rising from the ashes. We just have to hang in there, stay in our heart, stay in our power, do a lot of heart brain coherence, a lot of gratitude and compassion meditation. The more you can be in your heart, the more you're going to be safe as everything changes. And the spiritual people are really going to thrive. So it's kind of a make or break year. It's going to be really amazing, really challenging, but we're all going to be okay. We're all going to connect in community. So again, we'll have a lot more detail when we break out the full 2025 forecast as a live event. But in the meantime, on Halloween, I made 13 predictions for the coming year. So you can catch that video right over here. And check out some of the heart brain coherence reprogram, because we have to get out of this matrix. We got to get out of the programming to be effective agents of change. I love you. See you at the next video.